welcome back to another wonderful, exciting episode of That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf here on That Range Life, a YouTube channel sometimes about golf. I'm Bill Bush of DriveRangeHeroes.com, at Range Heroes on all your favorite social media platforms. That is my dearest of dear friends, Chris McEwen, at Chris McEwen on most of those platforms, except Facebook. You'll still find them. Do the thing.
Yeah.
I had another, I remember. So, true to form for us, technical difficulties getting started up. And we talked about the desk scenery is now no longer in frame due to using a different camera. But I thought of this before coming on this evening. We have not specifically shouted out in a long time the official golf ball of That Range Life.
It's true.
Bridgestone.
It's true.
So with the golf season's kicking up here, and it's time for a lot of people to stock up. Make sure you check out the Bridgestone golf balls. There's an option for everybody. Do the whole online fitting if you want.
Yeah, they got the online thing. They've also got, don't they have the new robot guy that's also can fit you at a range for those that can go to a range?
I mean, that scares me, like the whole Skynet thing, Terminator. It's going to my soul. So, but if you're not worried about that, you should check one of those out.
For sure. Hey, real quick too, while we're doing some shout outs before we get into it, you had mentioned a new follower, a new subscriber last week, Brian, who found us via Sub 70 Reviews. And he and I are becoming fast friends. He is going back in the archives and watching stuff and commenting on everything. So just real quick shout out to Brian. We appreciate you. Glad you're here. Thanks for watching, man.
And tell a friend.
It's the best. I'm sure. I can only imagine he's told friends. And if they're anything like our friends, they probably just rolled their eyes because he's probably the lone golf psycho amongst them. But either way, still.
Or a special type of psycho amongst the golf psychos.
Right.
Did we speaking of that, telling friends, did we do subscribe, go down below, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the things, say hi to Brian in the comments. And if you're listening to the podcast, rate and review and do all that great stuff. We'd really appreciate it. And again, tell a friend. Word of mouth is always the best. We couldn't do this without people like you guys, the viewers and the listeners. You got to say that, right?
We could. It just wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I just figure. I feel like every video I watch, because I watch a ton of YouTube these days. Like I barely even watch any real programming on anything else. It's just YouTube. So I feel like it's not a YouTube video if you don't say it.
What are you watching so much of on YouTube?
A lot of skateboarding, fishing.
Really? Fishing? Oh, that's apropos to because Mark's back this week with a pick, and we're gonna get to Mark here in a minute.
Yeah.
We got to talk about him. God!
So if he has any good fishing content, because so one of my channels I really enjoy. It's weird because I feel like it's sort of counter to my personality, but I enjoy Meat Eater channel a lot, and it's a lot of hunting, fishing, outdoorsy stuff. And they have they have some really good stuff, but this current fishing series they're doing are these two dudes, they're buddies, and it's like the Montana walleye tour, and they just go around I don't know, it's every weekend, but it's different walleye fishing tournaments in Montana at different lakes over weekends.
Oh man,
it's fine, but it's just not clicking with me. Like, I don't know, I just don't love it. So I'm like, well, I gotta avoid to fill. Oh, I watch a lot of camping videos where they they're like this sort of,
they're survivalists, or they're just camping.
Maybe a mix of both. Stealth camping.
What is that? What is stealth camping? So they just go where no one else is and like hide? Or
think about like you're driving down the highway and there's like the big medians with like woods in the middle of them, and they might like sneak into one of those and camp.
Okay. Yeah. There's some of those on the way up. If you go towards Wisconsin, you get to those.
Oh, actually, when I watched shout out Camping with Steve, the guy's got like over the pandemic, he 1.3 million followers or whatever. And it's a good channel. He's Canadian. But I was watching him do that one a while ago, and I go, yeah, there's a lot of those spots on the drive up to Wisconsin. Yeah. Like, I'm going to go camp in a median on a highway. Right. Like, that's I'm going to do. I won't even camp in my backyard, let alone a median in a highway.
Yeah, right. Oh
Jeez.
my God.
So anyway, let's get into the Phoenix Open, and I mean, let's just kick right into things.
Yeah. Yes. So
we've been talking about Mark having to like make more content contributions because of his pick videos that are so good, but
I think we might have fallen into something here. Well, okay, so let's just back up a little bit. The reason that we do the bit in the first place with Mark and his pick every, so often is way back. I don't even remember what tournament it was at this point, but he threw some money on Will Zalatoris to win some bucks, right? To win a tournament.
I felt like I needed a hat change. I'm sorry.
And he won. And whatever, he won like $100 or something, right? Like whatever. And we're like, well, now we have our gambling bit, right? Because you and I gamble, but like I'm not giving advice out here. And quite honestly, we don't take that shit that seriously anyway. So anyways, that's why Mark originally started showing up on the channel during this show whenever he would have a pick for us. Which again, he's back this week, and I think you're really going to appreciate it. Anyways, so the first round of the Phoenix Open is delayed because of frost. So they don't finish it on Thursday. They're going to finish it up on Friday morning. Well, Friday morning, I get a text from my brother who's at work and can't really follow it. And he's asking me, what's Jason Day doing? I need a Jason Day update. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he sends me a screenshot of the bet that he's made. He put $10 on Jason Day to be in first place after the first round. It paid plus 7,000. So he won $700 on his bet on Jason Day. So now I think we might have an actual thing here that we have to bring Mark in on more, not just for a bit, but like, I think he might be good at this stuff. I don't know.
Or even if he's not, like even even better.
He hits though. Like he's still hitting on some of these. Like even if you followed Mark's bets every week and bet $10. Okay. So let's say you're down $40 now because he hasn't won, but then he gave you Jason Day first round leader and you bet that $10. I mean, you're way up. You're up $660, $670.
I'm almost thinking we should have him give I'm going to go on a limb and assume he's gambling on more than just the golf tournament. Like maybe Mark gives 4 picks.
We talked about that too before when we first started it. Like, just give us a NASCAR race. Give us whatever we really missed an opportunity with the Super Bowl this past week. And I'm sure he put something down on some stupid bet on that. But nevertheless, I think this bit is going to become like a legit thing that we have to do.
Leave a comment down below what kind of gambling content you want to see out of Mark. Like what kind of picks, how many, whatever. Let us know. Who knows? Maybe this will be that range life a show mostly about gambling, sometimes about golf. Responsibly, of course. Gambling responsibly.
Yes, absolutely.
You brought it up. Can I feel like I thought I knew and then I didn't. Basically, as long as I've paid attention to any sort of media. Why is it okay to call it the Super Bowl until the week of, and then everything has to call it the big game?
Well, so they trademark NFL owns Super Bowl,
right?
The term Super Bowl, so you can't use it without their permission.
So
you can't use any. You can't we can say it. It's not a big deal if we say it, but commercially speaking,
so
you can't advertise the Super Bowl. It's the big game sale, or it's the go to TV for the big game.
So they did try to. Place a bet on the big game. I'm encouraging you to place the bet in my sports book, so I'm technically using it to mark. Okay,
right. And they did try to trademark the big game, but were denied. So that's why everybody is. I kind of wish they would have gotten it, because what else could you call it? The game on Sunday, the event, the Sunday event.
America's biggest annual match. So not to go too far off topic, we got to get back to the Phoenix Open and following Mark's pick. Let's just say a person that lives nearby who's their family's just I don't know about you with football people, but there's football people and then there's people I love a lot of things to like a sick level. And then there's this, like the way football just gets into people's blood.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's an American thing for sure. I mean, it's not just your neighbors, but yeah, everyone's got a friend, right? That's kind of like that. That's just like where they sit down and they're going to watch it for 8 hours and they got the package and it's the whole thing.
If they're going to a game, for instance, they're going to the big game, they got their tickets and they're going but they're not a fan of either team.
Right.
So they'll wear like their team, like, but I just love football. So I'm wearing a football jersey here.
Worst.
Like that. So anyway,
those people, man, you just fire yourselves from sports. Right. Honestly, if you're going, like you see it at Cubs games too, a lot, like it'll be Cubs Reds and someone will show up in a Brewers jersey or something. Like, what are you doing, man? Get out of here. Go somewhere else.
I'm getting to a point too where I'm like, I don't know if anyone, like if you're above the age of 25, I don't know if I want you wearing a jersey, but this is me. Like,
well, I have like thoughts on that too.
Like I'm turning a weird life corner is when somebody said something about like, it's weird to wear when you're 35 years old and you're wearing a hockey jersey with some 20-year-old kid's name on your back. I was like, God, that is weird.
Yeah. I've never been, I don't know if I've always considered it because maybe this is why you're the same way, but, like we were athletes, we wore our names on our backs, literally.
Yeah.
And so it just feels weird to wear someone else's name on my back. And I'm real finicky about numbers. I know, go figure. Like I'm not just going to wear somebody's random number, you know. I did have for a short period of time a Seabrook jersey, but he wore 7 and I loved the number 7. And I loved Brent Seabrook. So I was able to sort of come to terms with that, but I'm not a big jersey. You won't see me in a jersey ever, unless it's like one of my kids or something or whatever. I don't know.
And I always thought too, the guys who like get the like vanity plate jerseys where you're like, okay, funny guy. I'm almost like, as I've had this kick of like, ditch the jersey completely. When people are clever with those, I actually think I might appreciate them now. I mean, not like a 69,
right?
Not like that, but like every now and then you see a clever one or someone that's like they purposely know it's one of their like bad masking tape jobs because a player left, so it's a new like. They're like they know it's as bad as it.
I guess the other thing, and I'm not telling if you want to wear a jersey, wear a jersey.
Correct. We should have made
for the record.
Should have made that disclaimer, but it's you put it on record.
We're just talking personally speaking. I guess there's a one caveat, maybe like if you're wearing the jersey of a Hall of Fame player that is dead, then I think that's okay. Like like one of the greats, like if I'm not buying I'm trying to think of a player's name, like an Ian Happ jersey. Like Ian Happ's a fine player. I'm not going to wear his jersey, right? I'm not going to wear I remember in the dark days, we're back in the dark days of Cub games, but like guys were walking around Ryan Theriot jerseys. Like, what are you doing? This guy, he's a 4A guy. He's barely a major leaguer. You're buying his jersey and you're going to wear it? Like, what's the matter with you? Stop it.
But it says the Riot. Get it?
Right. Yeah, exactly. But like that kind of stuff, like, come on. It's got to be upper echelon, and they had to have, like, here's the other thing, like all the Kris Bryant jerseys that were out and about. Well, now you have a Kris Bryant jersey that doesn't even exist in real life. Like he's not a Cub. He left. Same with Rizzo. Rizzo's a Yankee and people are walking around with Anthony Rizzo. Like, no, they have to retire as a Cub, be a Cub, live their life as a Cub, and then go in the Hall of Fame. If they're going into the Hall of Fame wearing that logo, then okay, I'll allow it. How
do you feel about, Rizzo leaves. Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's with the Yankees now. I'm going to Wrigley to go see the Cubs play the Braves. Insert any National League team here.
Okay.
I'm going to show up wearing my Rizzo Cubs jersey.
No, no, he's not a Cub anymore. Like, what are you doing? Like, no, put some masking tape on the back of it and put on whoever's wearing whatever. I can't remember his number now. That's shame on me. I should remember his number.
44.
He's 44. I was going to say he's a double digit. What about we've really gone off the
I say don't worry. I'm coming back to what started us down this rabbit hole.
Would you wear a 00 Griswold Blackhawk jersey?
Oh no, as coming to terms and my whole perspective changing, I still see that. I'm like, no. And especially because here's this will surprise everybody. I'm like, nah, that's a knockoff. That's a fake. Like, that's not a
Right.
real Reebok made jersey or
Right.
whatever brand. Adidas is making them now.
Mhm.
Insert whatever brand, and there's a million tells.
That's the other rule is wear an authentic jersey.
And I'm going to say manufactured by the company and licensed. Fine. You don't want to pay $450 for this with the tie down strap for a hockey jersey. I get it, but don't go by like, there's this guy selling it like in the stand out there. And they're like $75, or this was a big one for hockey jerseys like 15 years ago. Oh no, I have this buddy who actually has like a hookup with with Reebok, so he can get the jerseys at cost. I'm like, those aren't real jerseys.
Here's what I will say. Again, you can wear whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Except for the shirts. If you're a grown man wearing a t-shirt that looks like a jersey, don't stop doing that. Stop it. I mean, take a good look at yourself, and you're better than that. All right. Guy wearing a jersey. Stop
I will tell you, I agree. I agree with you to just don't.
Right.
But I think I'm in a world where I'm like, I can tolerate that more than the jersey, because at least it was only like
it's like $18,
$20 to $35 investment. Right. And you're just kind of, that's fun. I'll do mow
the
lawn in it a few times.
But just get a t-shirt with your team on it. Just do that. And then you can wear it forever. And then it's fine.
Imagine that.
Anyways, all right, back to our regular scheduled discussion.
Point of where I was going with that, you asked, so they trademark the big game.
Correct.
What do you call it instead? And I was thinking about this, observing, Super Bowl party, Super Bowl, right? Right. I was like, what? I almost was thinking, I'm going to ask him, like, hey, is like the Super Bowl your family's Super Bowl? And I realized, like, wait a minute. Like, I didn't even think of that, because you might say like, oh, is, like Christmas your family's Super Bowl for holidays, or, just the way people do, like, is this your Super Bowl?
Right.
And I go, that's why they say, is this your Super Bowl? Yes, this is the Super Bowl, literally and figuratively. Right. I would tell you a good 2 hours or so went by where that kept, how you get texts from me all the time, like, this just popped into my head. Yeah. I had to tell someone, like, for the next 2 hours, that just kept coming back at how disappointed in myself I was. Like, what's wrong with your brain? And that's like,
when's the last time you went to a Super Bowl party? We were talking about this. Did you ever go to a Super Bowl party?
I define Super Bowl party. So like
more than 5 people, one of them, not related to you, maybe.
Right. My sister, with our birthdays bunched up like they are, my sister has us over to watch the Super Bowl at her house. So it was her son, her husband's out of town for work already, my parents, and then my 4 families. So like that was our Super Bowl party.
All right. So it's just a family thing.
Right. But it isn't the whole, like, everybody come over and watch. Like,
right. Yeah. We did the bar packages for a long time. Some friends and I, when I lived like walking distance to our bar, to our local watering hole, we would do that. Cause we like knew, obviously we were there all the time. And so we would just go, and it was one of those, like, pay $200 and then eat as much as you want and drink as much as you want. And
I think there's a time and space or a situation in life. Yeah, for sure. But for me, like,
no, I'm not doing it. That's why I asked, because the last time I did that, I was, I don't know, 30 maybe.
Right. And if it's just, I'd say we didn't have kids, all that. I think people would be like, do you want a Super Bowl party? I'd be like, or you just want to go to some random bar or place or whatever and just drink. Right. I'd be like, never mind the Super Bowl. All right, cool.
Right. That's kind of what, and even then I would probably bail at halftime most of the time. Be like, all right, that's enough. I'm good.
Yeah.
Go home and watch it and fall asleep.
The version we've found now with having the kids and doing this with my sister the last few years, it's bedtimes. It's school night. So we leave usually after the halftime performance.
Right.
I say to my wife, I'm like, I don't care about the Chiefs.
You're what?
Eagle.
You're who?
My wife. Sorry. I don't care about this game at all. But
Yeah.
I feel like, well, I've already watched this much of it. I need to see what happens and finishes now. And then there's that little bit of, I know on the internet, I mean, Howard Stern, anything I consume.
Yeah, it's going to be discussed.
Somehow it's like, I just need to know. At least so I don't care if I have an opinion or any insight to provide.
Yeah.
Just so I know what's happening around me to some degree.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Super Bowl. Anyway, Phoenix Open, Mark's picks. He might leave us a comment. Let us know what kind of picks you want.
Yeah. So Mark's $700 richer. I mean, should we go? Well, let's finish up the discussion around the Phoenix, and then we'll move on to El Tigre's show, the Tiger show next week.
Yes. So you have a note here: the return of Rick.
I tell you what. How did you watch some of that?
I did.
I mean, he's acing par threes.
I watched more golf this weekend in this tournament than I have in a year and a half.
Really?
Yeah. I think part of it was like, I got to start watching golf, especially when we have this show. Like, no, I forgot to watch it. Like, so it might've been a little bit of that, but
I think now we talked about this before. Like, this is when I feel like historically you start to pay closer attention anyways.
Well, and
there's some better stuff happening and better courses and that kind of stuff.
Our guy, Mark, with the bet helped put a little spirit into it for me.
Yeah.
And then the Nick Taylor story, and I don't know which of the, the knuckleheads, which, God, by the way, Noah Azinger I don't know.
It's so nice. I haven't even thought about it. I forgot he existed.
I don't know.
God, it's so bad.
You brought up Trevor Immelman being a fresh breath of air, and I'm listening to him without Azinger, and I go, you know what it is? I think Immelman doesn't even have to be good. It's not.
Oh no,
Azinger.
It's a low bar. Yeah, right.
And so it's so. I feel like it's so bad right now, where it's just like, oh, this guy. Thank God we have him. So
it's true. It's true.
I mean, he might be great too. I'm not saying he's not. It's just the energy suck that Azinger is for me in my golf watching experience. So
he's just not. Yeah, he's just not good. I mean, I don't know. I would love someone to comment and tell us what makes him good if you think he's good, because I don't. There's nothing that he offers that is insightful or meaningful. That's a good shot. That's a bad shot guy. I think he leans on nervy. He leans on all the sort of typical. Just
and attributing his past success as a Ryder Cup captain or tournaments he's won does not make him a good broadcaster. So you cannot use that when you defend it down below, please.
No.
But agreed. Rick, -10.
10 under. I think that's two tournaments in a row where he has played really well. I think his golf, he's changed his golf swing. He's striking the ball really, really well. I'm wondering if at some point, Mark was a huge back in the day during Rick's heyday, huge fan. I mean, Puma guy, the orange on orange look. He loved him. I'm wondering at some point if Rick isn't playing well enough that perhaps Mark drops his name in one of his picks, because I just feel like it feels like he's back to me. He's hitting the ball well. He's putting the ball in the fairway. If his putter gets going a little bit, here we go. I don't know.
I don't want to hear these words come out of my mouth and be this kind of like golf talk guy, but I'm not telling you I need him to contend and like win tournaments and all that. But having him in the mix,
100%.
feels like it's just a little more enjoyable to consume the product.
Yeah, I found myself, that's really funny you say that, because I've got no emotional attachment to him or anything or whatever, but damn if I don't find myself pulling for that dude. Like, I want that guy to succeed. I don't know why. He hasn't had any hardship.
Do you feel
like he's just like, I don't know, he's just a likable guy. I don't even know that if that's
he's
true.
Not even in like the promotional materials are minimal, and he's not getting a lot of airtime outside of like when they show him on the course these days. I feel like it's a body language thing. There's just something about you see him and you're like, he feels pleasant.
Right. And maybe because he's also has these other outside interests besides golf and makes him more well-rounded. He's got the bike stuff or whatever. I don't know. He just seems like, I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, I can't help but hope that he does well. And I have no explanation or reason why I feel that way.
Right. I loved quote unquote jail suit Ricky with the long hair and just orange.
I know there's still something he hasn't. I will say this about Rick is that okay, let's lose the mustache. Yeah. All right. And then creepy. let's just work on your look a little bit. Let's evolve a little bit more. Because it's still not quite there. I feel like he's caught in the middle of heyday mullet Rick. But he's got the weird sunglasses. Like, come on, man, let's modernize the look. He's too cool of a guy to be wearing that stuff.
I agree.
Quite honestly.
I agree with that sentiment for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is sort of like Puma. I remember being in the biz we're in, Kris. A handful of years ago.
For what we do.
For what well played. I remember I can't get past it. A handful of years ago, Puma press release comes out, and it's always like the bright purples and blues and oranges and the Rick stuff. And then they're like, hey, quite literally in this press release, they said he's getting older. He's growing up. And so are like his tastes, and he's sort of moving on in his life, and he's looking for something, he's looking for us to produce something that reflects he's maturing.
Right.
So we're using these palettes and that palette. I'm like, okay. Right. So but then I feel like, that could have been 5 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
He got it. It's like it stopped right there with the bad, like actually they're functionally good shoes, but the Puma high top that like had the weird strap.
The strap. Right.
I want to say they're hideous, but from experience, functionally it was a great shoe, great golf shoe.
Right.
Just can't wear that thing with shorts, and like he's stuck with that and some joggers, and you're like, boy, this is tough. So I think
his shirts fit weird too. Like get those things tailored, Puma. Come on, man.
And I'm a Puma golf. Puma golf makes nice stuff. I support
for sure. 100%. I love their stuff.
Yeah. I'm with you. Why do you apologize? Why are you apologizing to Scottie Scheffler?
All right, let's
I don't remember.
Let's. I'm going to just speak on the behalf of golf Twitter, maybe a little bit of golf YouTube, golf podcasts across the board, specifically golf Twitter, at least the people that we have conversations with. So
you got to get back off Twitter. You got to get back off.
I was having fun tonight because there's like 5 full swing thought podcasts that just launched today, which is hilarious. Did you see that? They all branded themselves the same thing. It's amazing. It's so good. So good. I love it. Anyways,
you hold down the fort for us.
Yeah. At any rate, we had the conversation. I asked the question, right? The scenario was every PGA Tour player, except for Tiger, we're going to leave Tiger on the side. Every PGA Tour player is playing the best golf they could possibly play of their life on the same course at the same time. We said Rory, Rahm, a couple of guys were like, maybe JT's in there. Some weirdo said Cantley. Like, get out of here.
God, nobody. When you pop back on Twitter with that topic, man, we got taken to task for that, for like daring to not have other people's answers. I'm like, my apologies.
I mean, a lot of people did agree with us. A lot of people said, we said Rory for the most part. My point is, nobody said Scottie Scheffler. Nobody, 0 people, not even an honorable mention, nothing, including you and me. Nobody said Scottie Scheffler. Yeah. This is the Masters champion, reigning Masters champion. Once again, now he's back-to-back Phoenix Open champion. Like, what does this do? I know he's kind of boring. Most of the time he lost the lead in the Tour Championship last year. He had a 6-shot lead or whatever. He lost to the Rory. I get it. But for the most part, when that dude's got a lead, that's a wrap. If he goes into Sunday, I don't know what he has to do he's the number 1 player in the world now, if you care about those things. But we all actively sort of disrespected him. And I would like to apologize on behalf of golf Twitter. Because clearly he should be in the conversation. As boring of a game as he has, The dude is winning golf.
But how many on Sunday? Like, oh man, maybe they'll gain a stroke on him, and he's making like an 11 to 18 foot par putt.
Right. Yeah, he's hitting these shots that he has to hit. The 16 on 16 to par 16 on Sunday. He had to par that. Did it.
Well,
he Eagles, whatever it was, 12 or something to go up 3. Like,
wasn't it on 18? I mean, it wasn't necessarily super important, but he came up short, right? It was a big monster, like
not
just
an easy shot.
Like long chip, and they made comments. Probably Trevor Immelman, our new favorite broadcaster, made a comment. I don't know if it was him. A few holes prior about how like anytime this guy gets faced with these like really tested, crucial chips he needs to get close to get up and down. Yeah, he gets them close no matter. Yeah. So now I'm waiting for when you publish this short, because you inevitably will, we're going to get taken to task. Like, it's still Rahm. It's still Rory.
Maybe.
Fine. The apology
right.
is we apologize for not. I'm joining in. I'm with you on that. Okay. Right. You are rightfully so. You're representing everybody. Like you said,
that's right.
It should have been a name in the conversation. Nick Taylor, people are like, oh, God, he didn't have enough down the stretch. The guy shot a 65 on Sunday.
Right. Exactly.
So, he had an inopportune bogey around. He bogeyed 16. He had that big lip out putt.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a bad bogey. He still shot a 65. He wouldn't have won anyway.
Right.
It's like he would have had to shoot 61 to win the tournament,
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. I would wonder if people don't think he deserves to be in the conversation. What would he have to do to be in the conversation at this point?
I almost feel like he's, I mean, not at old Tiger rates, but like it does feel he's the only player. I mean, think of like when Morikawa got hot for a while. Brooks got hot for a while. Bryson got hot for a while. It's like he is the only player, I feel like, who had his little flash of climbing up the charts, winning a big tournament or major, and then continuing it. And I feel like he's hit a run over the last 18 months where it's almost like he's just printing wins and top 10 finish, just printing them.
Right. Right. I wonder if it's just because he's like, I mean, let's face it, he's kind of schlubby and plain and, just kind of like a dude. Like he's not chiseled or athletic like Rory. He's not this, this angry Spaniard like Rahm. And just, he doesn't,
less dynamic.
That I wonder if that's like actually working against him, like just because nobody wants to see him up there. So they wouldn't talk to him. I don't know. Anyways, that was my Scottie Scheffler.
That's a good one. I think it's a good thought. It's a good thought. Let's do a quick, before we move on to next week, a quick check-in on the rest of our pros.
Yes.
Sahith, T39 at -3. Like, all right, he's in the mix. Shout out Sahith. And then
another made cut by our dude. So
just collecting those points.
Paycheck. Yep.
Yeah. And speaking of, oh man, when it was still close with Scheffler and Taylor, this could be life changing for Nick Taylor. I'll be honest, I've never heard of Nick Taylor before, and I looked it up. Canadian guy, 34 years old. I'm like, is he a journeyman? But it sounds like he's not. It sounds like he's a pretty consistent PGA Tour player. I'm just not aware of.
Yeah.
But Canadian, they're pushing that, and then they're like, this TPC Scottsdale is his home course. He lives here. I'm like. That's like saying I'm Canadian because I went there once and played hockey. The guy lives in Arizona. He's in Arizona now. Stop it.
You could say that about Rahm too, because Rahm makes Scottsdale his home.
Right.
But he's a Spaniard, but that doesn't really work with the narrative. You got to go with the narrative.
I know. Man. Obviously, I know he's Canadian. I know. Okay. But good for him. But anyway, their point being like, if he were to win today, this is an elevated tournament. It's $3.6 million for first place. And I went, hang on. I understand this is a live golf response, but Jesus Christ, first place at a non-major is $3.6 million.
I know. He still won 2.2 or something.
I think it was like
I should say
I think it was like 2.4. Yeah, 2.4, 2.7 maybe.
Yeah. It was a lot.
Solo second place, and I'm sure it's the biggest check he's ever taken. He's probably comfortably set for next season now.
I hope so. Got it. I mean, that.
And then I saw a great tweet today. Was it Shane Binkin? It was one of the usual suspects who's very golf Twitter, but you're like, actually, you're not that annoying, and your insights are generally pretty good. And they said, I think if it was someone insufferable, well, my bad. He said, Nick Taylor's a great example of, you think these guys aren't that good or whatever. Just because he's not around with the top guys most of the time, he's not one of the big names, you don't recognize him. I will guarantee you, if you bring him out to your club or any club, he will embarrass every single person you have there. Your club champion, everybody.
Correct.
And so the guy's like, maybe we should put a +1 or 2 in every tournament just to provide the perspective.
Yeah, and watch them finish. I mean, they do that, right? When they have the amateurs, like the college kids come in. And, they're obviously college golfers and they've on full rides and they go out and they shoot a 10 over.
I love it. The Masters, especially when you have the Bernard Longers of the world coming out and shooting their age and like they're on the leaderboard, for the first 2.5, 3 days. Right. Meanwhile, this kid who's going to be like, quote unquote, the next Spieth or whatever, won the USAM and then shoots, like 32 over in 2 rounds.
Right. He shoots 480s.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy? You got another guy, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Not in the big tour, but over on the Corn Ferry. Yeah. Our guy Zach Fisher and our guy Akshay Bhatia, they all traveled to Bogota, Colombia. To miss the cut.
To play 2 rounds of golf and go home.
Willie Mack III, though, that sensational story made the cut. I forgot what place he got, but he's in my favorites in the scoring thing. So I saw he made the cut. Good for him. Nice. But I was thinking, like, people talk about the golf grind and even on PGA and stuff. Think of these guys on the Corn Ferry Tour, much smaller paychecks, whatever. Yeah. It is to get the whole machine, your caddy and all that, like shipped to the Bahamas, to Colombia, that little. So they got to be supplementing those guys. Like, hey, here's how we'll somehow, because that has to be the biggest purse suck in the world.
Right. Good band name, Purse Suck.
Trademark.
TM.
All right. There's our pro check-ins. We got oh man. I should have worn my Riviera hat my friend Mark brought back for me. God bless it. Next week.
All right. Yeah. We've got Riviera coming up. Another big tournament, always a good turnout. Lots of guys. And so Mark wanted to chime in on a pick. So here he is coming fresh off his plus 7,000 victory via Jason Day and his $700 win. Let's throw it to Mark.
Yo, what's up, fellas? We out here in Lees Ferry getting some brown trout. Each one's worth $33.
Yeah, baby.
My boy Q just got one in there. The most beautiful place on earth. Uncle Cyrus back there on the back deck duty. It's out here doing our thing.
Catching these motherfucking browns, baby.
Every 3 brown trout's worth $150. And we got a whole live well full. If they're over 20 inches, they're worth $300. And there's one right there. Got over $2,000 in fish right now for 2 days. We about to double, triple that up and put it on our boy. Who's our boy?
Will Zalatoris.
Will Zalatoris, baby. Bet that.
That's what I meant.
He's humping the fish. What are you doing, Q?
I did think to myself, maybe we can edit around that, but
oh god, it's so good though. Anyways, that's the pick. There you go. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Q. Thank you, Cyrus.
Uncle Cyrus.
Yep. And there you go. And hopefully we'll have Mark back more often with some other little sneaky picks that he finds. I gotta say, I just happened to check. I wanted to see what the odds of Will Zalatoris was.
Stationary.
Will Zalatoris. He's plus 4,000. So it wouldn't. I mean, a $10 bet. I mean, if he does come back and win this week, it's a pretty good payout.
You might have to take $5 out of the YouTube fund for us.
Right? Yeah. Guess what? We were just talking about Rick. Guess what Rick's sitting at to win?
Plus 1,500.
Plus 5,500.
Jeez.
It's pretty good. So the other ones I thought, I was just looking at the list of plus 4,000 with Zalatoris. Spieth, Matsuyama.
These are all people who are playing like pretty decent. I feel like these
Jason Day. He's plus 4,000.
I feel like
he's
these
playing.
Are big numbers for as well as these guys are playing.
I know. And I think a sneaky one, we're turning into a gambling.
I said, look at us being a gambling
it.
show.
I know. And I loved watching him at Waste Management. That's why, because he just looks like he's another dude that it looks like he just hates everything. And even when he gets a birdie, he's like, it's about time. Like, God damn it. Tyrell Hatton. Tyrell Hatton, it just looks like he just hates himself for 4 hours a day on the golf course. He hates everything about himself. He hates his game.
That just made me miss, you know what? I feel like I miss Ian Poulter being around purely for him and Terrell and their interactions and content.
Right. Oh. Yeah. So he's at 4,000 too. So those are pretty good. I don't know. Yeah. We might have to start the show pot on one of those guys. Cause that's
it's
pretty good odds. I don't know what I don't know what who the favorite is, but it's probably, I think Scheffler's playing. So he's probably favored.
So he is back. What are Tiger's odds?
I don't know. I didn't look long, 10,000 or something.
Have the hire him a driver this week jokes started rolling in on the internet yet?
No, not yet. God, what a terrible joke.
Well, you know they will. Or not jokes, but like commentary.
It's true.
Like, okay,
yeah, it's true.
You know, we get it. I get it.
Yeah.
And then something about the necessary like Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Riviera talk as well.
Right. Oh, Rahm is the favorite. John Rahm is plus 750.
Okay. Well,
I can tell you though, like, yeah, it does seem really Scottie Scheffler's plus 1,000. Man,
I love that golf gambling though. It's like the odds are always plus something because it's still, no matter how hot you are,
right.
It's still
really
such
hard
a crapshoot or whatever.
Yeah, Tiger's plus 10,000. So if you want to get crazy, throw $10 down on Tiger. Wouldn't kill you.
Might have to do that. I'm sure he's gonna win too.
And here we are. They sucked us in. Damn it, gambling bastards.
God.
Anyways,
do it responsibly and all that. I think.
Yeah, for real.
Well, no, we don't. We're not partnering with anybody. We don't have to say.
That's
anything.
also true. That's also true.
Don't even start on that. All right. Do you want to get into this last topic, or do you want to save it?
What's the last topic?
Your fun facts.
Oh, let's save those. Those because that's going to be a lot of Q&A. I got a lot of questions. I'm going to quiz you on that stuff. Really fun. Don't do any Googling. All right. Don't try going and cheating like you always try to do. I know you try to prep so much for these kind of shows.
The only facts I'm into with golf these days, we have to get back to the golf trivia box.
Yes. Yeah. We got to do another golf trivia. I like those in person, but we do have to do another one of those.
Well, the weather's been nice. We have to whip up a garage. And the garage is like in total disarray for using a garage for making content.
Right.
Because I have the mat down, the ring light, Goodwill clubs everywhere.
Right.
So garage show might be in the cards.
Not a terrible idea. Not a terrible idea. I'm into it.
All right. What do we gotta have? What else do we have on the channel?
We have a Gear Talk podcast that dropped around the Srixon ZX Mark II irons that just went out. Stay tuned for more of those. If you're not subscribed to the podcast and just want those, I mean, they're going to be there. We have another one. We have two more, I think, ready to go after this one. You unboxed. What did you unbox today?
The Cobra
irons.
King Tour irons. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So you unboxed those on the channel. So go check that out. I think that's it.
Okay. And then if you're feeling crazy, you can swing over to drivingheroes.com and check out the Lab Golf Link 1 putter review. I think
it's a fun one. Also a podcast about that one.
We have an unboxing. We have the unboxing for that coming up soon. So you hear us talk about it more, and we'll obviously get it out and do something with it. It's a neat little putter. And Cleveland RTX 6 wedges review from Tommy. Just close the show, Kris.
Cameras. Oh my God, it's the best. I love this show so much. All right. I'll just take over. That is Bill Bush, whose camera just stopped functioning entirely. You can follow him at Range Heroes on Instagram and Twitter, and definitely TikTok. He is TikTok hot right now. I'm Kris McEwen. You can follow me in the same places. And then like Bill said, if you want to go to Facebook, I'm not very active, but it's at Kris McEwen. Don't forget, leave a comment. Talk to us about the show. Let us know what you think about everything we've talked about. Subscribe, like the video, hit the bell. Bill and I are going to be getting out at least to a driving range and hopefully a golf course here to do some testing and shooting some video. So you're going to want to catch that. And podcast listeners, thank you. The numbers have been great. We really appreciate it. Subscribe to that podcast and rate and review it if you wouldn't mind. Otherwise, on behalf of Bill, I can't see anymore. We'll talk to you guys later.